I never measure my rice, ever. I think, well, that's going to be enough roughly for 2 people. Obviously, I know this is a meal for 4, so you would put just a little bit more in. There's around about 2 cups worth. Now, realistically, 2.5, 3 cups is plenty for 4 people. Obviously, if you like to eat a bit more, obviously do a bit more rice. I've not measured it. The easiest way to do rice, if you are going to measure it, is for every cup of rice, you use twice the amount of water when we do boil, okay? Also, if you haven't yet invested in a rice cooker and you cook rice on a regular basis, I can't advise them strongly enough. They're fantastic. Once you've washed the rice, you put the amount of water in you need, you just click it on, stick the lid on it, and it does the rest. If you are cooking this on a conventional cooker, whether that be gas, induction or electric, you will have to keep an eye on it for the first 5-6 minutes. And then once that water has been evaporated or absorbed, that's when you turn it right down and pop the lid on. Okay, now I'm going to wash the rice twice. Now, do you really need to wash boiled rice, especially when you can see that it's clean, there's nothing in it, there's no nasty stuff? Now, this is all about tradition. You know, when we cook food, we learn it from our parents who've learned it from their parents who have learned it from their parents. So if you've got to imagine that if you're cooking rice 200 years ago, chances are there are going to be little bits of husk, or the mice may have got in there. There might be a bit of mouse poo. And this is the reality of cooking food a few hundred years ago. So the rice washing was all about obviously removing some of that starch, but also getting rid of those nasties. Now, through tradition, we always wash our rice 2 to 3 times, okay? We never do it 4 times. Now, the reason we don't do it 4 times is because 4 sounds like death in Chinese, okay? Or 444 sounds like death in Chinese. So, you know, every culture around the world, they have their superstitions. So 4 for Chinese is not lucky. So 2 to 3 times. So I'm just going to do that now, guys. Apologies if I should turn my back to you. So, and I'm just going to, like I say, I'm running cold. This can be warm water, cold water, it doesn't matter. And my mum always used to do it with 2 hands. She'd put her hands into there, she'd rub the rice together, and you do that a couple of times, and then very carefully just pour out that extra water. As you can see, okay, it is a little bit cloudy, but it's not really cloudy. So we're going to tip that off, then we're going to do that again. So just a really quick rinse through, pour off the excess water. Now once I've poured off that excess water, I'm just going to put enough water in this rice so it roughly sits about 1 inch above the rice. So in goes the water. And I'm just swishing the rice around so it's nice and even and flat. And I'm going to add just enough water. And I know you can't see in here, guys, but see, all I'm doing is just flattening that rice out. I'm going to pop my finger in, and that water roughly comes up to my first knuckle. Okay, so this part here, that first line. Now, obviously, because I'm putting it into the rice cooker, I'm just going to dry the bottom of my pot. In this goes. And at the moment it's an orange light. I'm going to press it into the cook mode. Okay, I pop the lid on. Now sometimes it tends to spit over, so all we do, we get an old tea towel, and I'm just going to put that over, just in case it does spit. I'm not getting like bits of rice water all over the place. It goes a bit starchy, I guess, starchy water. So that just stops that from happening. Right, that's the rice.